Hey everybody, welcome back. I've been enjoying Lords of the Fallen to the point of creating alts and get the best weapon and gear for early game, so you start on the right foot and kill stuff easily, especially gearing up for bosses. Strength builds are one of the best builds for early game and so on. So I'll tell you which strength class to use, weapons, armor, rings, and amulets, so you don't waste time and start owning enemies in both worlds, Axiom, the Living Realm, and Umbral, the Nightmare Realm. Beware of spoilers if you have not played the game, so let's go, game on! So strength builds are basically your physical damage dealers. Like in old Souls games, you can play them with two-hand weapons, sword and board, or even power stancing or dual wielding. This build would be very versatile in terms of weapon choice and survivability because of leveling up strength will improve your defensive stats and resistances. In terms of damage, it has a very physical raw power, interrupt their enemy's attack and stagger them quickly. So with this build, you will feel very comfortable playing the game. Now there are a few classes you can choose for this build. The most popular ones are the Dark Crusader that gives you more stats in Vitality and Radiance, and right there makes it the most powerful class, but you can only play it with it if you got the deluxe version of the game, or if you unlock it in your first playthrough. The other popular one is the Hallowed Knight that focuses on strength, endurance, and vitality. And I think this is your best option. It's an all-around, well-balanced class with high stamina that will allow more swings with short and heavy swords before you deplete it, and has a good amount of range slots. Other class that you might consider for this build is the Werewolf, that has the biggest amount of strength of all classes and more points into agility, making it easier to use some weapon that has both strength and agility requirements. So remember, Dark Crusader, Hallowed Knight, or Werewolf. But of course, I always want to make my life miserable. I created a Condemn because I really wanted to start a character from scratch and build it up. The most important stats for this build are strength, vitality, and endurance. Also agility, but just to be able to use some weapons, but you can't ignore agility altogether. At level 25, I have the stats like this: strength at 19 to meet the requirement of the sword that I'm using for this build that I will show you next, agility at 12, endurance at 13, vitality at 19. This number is colored green because of a ring I'm using to increase the stat, but I'll show that later in the video. Radiance and Inferno at night, no points here. So now moving into the weapon, there are a couple of options that you can get while you progress your early game and your character level until you get the one I consider the best weapon for this build. So first you get the old Mornstead Spear that has a great damage number and normal and charge attack reach, but lacks in handling mobs because it doesn't have like a sweep or a spread attack move. You can get it when you enter the Pilgrim's Perch area after coming out of the main hub of Skyrest Bridge. It will be on the floor to the right. It's worth mentioning the Faithful Bludgeon. It's a grand hammer. It's a great strength weapon with fire damage. It's very powerful, but the requirements are too high for early game. You can get it in Pilgrim's Perch starting from the Vestige of Chabui or the Sanctuary of Baptism, and then outside to the right and going down the path to the left with some stupid jumps, and when you reach the end of the path, go up the elevator and then a little bit more until you reach the end of the path. Then to the right, use your Umbral Lamp to walk up the Bone Bridge and then drop down to get it. But really, the weapon you want in this build, and is a really good weapon, is the Thorned Crimson Rector Sword that has a 19 strength requirement, scale C with strength, and does bleed damage.
Oh, the bleed train is back again.
And it has a very good physical attack. And the moveset is really good to handle mobs with one hand, hitting more than one at a time, or use two hands for great damage when fighting one enemy. Also, the charge attack can break posture faster. And when you start upgrading this weapon, you will start killing enemies in one less swing. So it's really good. You can get this weapon in Pilgrim's Perch after the second boss. Go to the ladder to the right, past that cave, then straight to the path, up the ladder. Then you gotta go up the other ladder with the spike head enemy. Now jump the two stupid platforms, then up the ladder, then up again the other ladder. And when you see a pilgrim with a long ladder on the front, use the Umbral Lamp to the left and follow the path moving the bone platforms and get to the sword in the bone hand. And there's a second way to get it, only if you have the Pilgrim's Perch Ballroom Vestige, you're right next to the weapon, so just pass to the umbral and follow this path. And for your throwable, the best early game is the Bloody Hatchet. It has a similar stats as the Short Javelin, but the Hatchet has 30 points in bleed. That's your bleed train again. Use this to take out those annoying ranged enemies or just chip away a bit of health at range of enemies. The Bloody Hatchet can be found in Pilgrim's Perch outside to the left of the Sanctuary of Baptism vestige behind these wooden planks on the floor. The best early game armor for this build is the Antique Hollow Sentinel with higher damage mitigation and resistance stats than other heavy pieces early game. To get it, start from Pilgrim's Perch Ballroom Vestige. Now you go right, and when you see an area filled with water, change to the Umber Realm and follow the path upwards until you get to a room with a chest, and inside is the armor, the sleeves, and the helm. Now for the pants, I use the Hollow Knight leggings that you can buy from the Stomach in the Skyrest Bridge. Now for rings, I'm using the Mine Owner's Ring that will increase maximum stamina and stamina regeneration rate, which it's very important to have stamina at all times to do more attacks. And luckily you can find this ring super early game in the abandoned Red Copse next to the Red Copse windmill or vestige of Mark of the Axe. Just head up the steps, it's hanging from a body next to a house, you can't miss it. The second ring is the Face Ring that will increase vitality attribute by 3. You can find it in Pilgrim's Perch when you continue your way and find the first and second Spidehead enemy near the hanging platform. You go to Umber Realm, then behind that ladder that you see there and go down that path, you will find it in the ground. Other ring option is the Ring of Duty that you can buy from Stomach in Skyrest Bridge. That will increase your vitality and your endurance. But with the stats I'm running, I'm using the face ring because the Ring of Duty makes my character heavy and we don't want those fat rolls. Use the Relic of Perpetuation that will increase your maximum health. You can find it in Pilgrim's Perch at the same location as the Antique Hollow Sentinel chest, but keep going upwards until you get out and turn right in the Umber Realm through the bone platform, and it's within one of those blue corpses on the wall. So guys, in a nutshell, it's a very powerful and complete build with medium reach, so you can keep enemies at a distance, and also great moveset for groups and single targets. You can pound all of the strong enemies like the Spikehead and the Butterfly Nightmare and bosses as well. So I recommend using this build to start the game the right way and will set you up to have a smooth play throughout the game. Again, thank you for watching guys, and if it was helpful, please like this video. That will help the channel a ton. Subscribe to not miss any new content I will be doing for Lords of the Fallen. I hope you guys have a great one. Take care and see you on the next video. Ciao!